the performance today. So we're very thankful to have them today. And we really appreciate you guys having great audience manners. I know you're so excited to see the kids perform. I want you guys to pay attention. Number one, they've been working on voice projection. That means that the voices, their voices on stage need to be super loud so that they don't need a microphone to speak. They're going to be really loud so that everybody in the back can even hear them. We're even aiming for the people at the road to hear us, okay? If the windows were open, that's what we're trying for, okay? They've worked for 2 months on this. There are some scenes in here, as you guys have seen already, where it looks like somebody gets hurt because there's some major sword fighting, right? I know. So they've really worked hard on those sword fight scenes, and it looks like they get hurt and all that stuff, but they're actually really and truly just acting. So we're really proud of that. So watch for these things. Watch how their bodies are turned. They're not turned like this. They're actually talking out here so that their voices are projected. So that is what we have been really working hard on, and we really appreciate you guys for having great audience manners and watching our play today. So we are going to open our curtains, and we're going to get started for you. Jacob?
Walker Elementary presents Macbeth!
When shall we three meet again? In thunder, lightning, or in rain? When the HAR-BER is done, when the battle's lost and won. That will be ere the set of sun. Upon the heath, there to meet with Macbeth. Fair is foul and foul is fair. Hover through the fog and filthy air.
What bloody man is that?
This is his sergeant, who like a good and hearty soldier fought against my captivity. Hail, brave friend! The merciless Macdonald showed like a rebel, but all's too weak. For brave Macbeth, unseen him from the name to the chaps, and fix his head upon our battlements.
God save the king! The victory fell on us! No more that thing, Cawdor shall deceive with his former title, great Macbeth, for he hath won.
So foul and fair a day I have not seen. Speak if you can, what are you?
All hail Macbeth! Hail to thee, Thane of Glamis, Thane of Cawdor! All hail Macbeth! Thou shalt be king hereafter!
Speak then to me, who neither beg nor fear your favors, nor your hate.
Lesser than Macbeth and greater. Not so happy, but much happier. Thou shalt be king, though thou be none. So all hail Macbeth and Banquo.
Stay, your imperfect speakers. Tell me more. I am Thane of Glamis, but how of Cawdor? The Thane of Cawdor lives. Speak, I charge you.
Whither are they vanished?
Into the air as breath into the wind. Your children shall be kings?
You shall be king.
The king hath happily received, Macbeth, the news of thy success.
We are sent to give thee from our royal master Thane.
He bade me, from him, call thee Thane of Cawdor.
What? Can the devil speak true?
Thanks for your pains. 2 truths are told as happy prologues to the swelling act of imperial theme. I thank you, gentlemen. Cannot be ill, cannot be good, if ill. If chance will have me king, why? Chance may crown me.
Macbeth's amazement at what the witches had said made him think about becoming king. He told his wife about this in a letter. They met me the day of success. When I burned in desire to question them further, they made themselves heir. These weird sisters saluted me to the coming of time with "Hail the king that shalt be." I thought this good to deliver thee, lay it to thy heart and farewell.
If it were done when 'tis done, 'twere well it were done quickly. If the assassination could trammel up the consequence, and catch with his surcease success, that but this blow might be the be-all and the end-all here. First as I am his kinsman and his subject, strong both against the deed, then as his host who should against his murderer shut the door, not bear the knife myself. I have no spur to prick the sides of my intent, but only vaulting ambition, which o'erleaps itself and falls on the other.
Lady Macbeth fears in her husband's nature, for Macbeth is too full of the milk of human kindness to catch the nearest wave. Though not without ambition, he lacks the illness to commit such an act. So Lady Macbeth pours her spirits into his ear and chastises him with the valor of her tongue and leads him to a place where fate and metaphysical aid doth seem to have him crowned as king.
have done the deed. This is a sorry sight.
A foolish thought to say a sorry sight.
This one did laugh in his sleep, and one cried murder.
Consider it not so deeply.
I'll go no more. I'm afraid to think of what I have done. Look on't again, I dare not. Whence is that knocking?
My hands are now covered in blood, but I shame to our hearts so white. A little water clears this ugly deed. How easy is it then?
Good morrow, noble sir.
Good morrow, both.
Is the king stirring, worthy Dane? He did command me to call timely on him. I have almost slipped the hour. Oh, har! 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 Tongue nor heart cannot conceive nor name thee.
What's the matter?
Awake, awake! Ring the alarm bell. Wilt thou death itself? Murder and treason! Ring the bell. Oh, gentle lady, 'tis not for you to hear I can speak. Oh, Banquo, your royal master's murdered!
Will Elias in our house?
What is amiss? Your royal father's murdered.
Oh, by whom?
Those of his chambers, as it seems at daunt. Their hands and faces were in badgered blood. So are their daggers.
Oh, yet I do repent me of my fury, that I did kill them.
Help me help to the lady. And when we have our naked frailties hid, that suffer in exposure, let us meet and question this most bloody piece of work to know it further.
In fear, King Duncan's sons fled Macbeth's castle, leaving some suspicious that they had committed the murder. But Banquo, who knew of the three witches' prophecies, suspected that Macbeth was guilty, especially when he was crowned king by the Scottish lords.
Tonight we hold a solemn supper, sir, and I'll request your presence.
Let your highness command upon me, to the which my deeders are with the most indissoluble tie forever knit.
Fail not our feast.
Aye, my good lord, our time does call upon us.
And so I do wish your horses swift and sure of foot. I do commend you to their backs. Farewell. Let every man be a master of his time.
Someone has arrived. They are, my lord, without the palace gate.
Bring them before us. Now go to the door and stay there till we call. Now then, both of you know Banquo was your enemy.
True, my lord.
So is he mine, that every minute of his being thrusts against my nearest of life. For certain friends that are both his and mine, for whose loves I may not drop, but wail his fall.
We shall, my lord, perform what you command us.
Law lives.
We are resolved, my lord.
It is concluded, Banquo, thy soul's flight, if it find heaven, must find out tonight. Leave no rubs nor botches in the work. You know your own degrees. Sit down at first, and last the hearty welcome.
Thanks to you, your majesty. May it please your highness sit.
The table is full.
Here's a place reserved, sir.
Where? Which of you have done this?
What, my good lord?
Thou canst not say I did it. Ne'er shake thy gory locks at me.
Gentlemen, rise. His highness is not well.
Sit, worthy friends. My lord is often thus. He will again be well.
Avaunt, and quit my sight. Let the earth hide thee. Thy bones are marrowless, thy blood is cold. Thou hast no speculation in those eyes which thou dost glare with. Hence, horrible shadow, unreal mockery, hence! Why, so being gone, I'm a man again. Pray you, sit still.
You've displaced the mirth and broken good meaning with the most admired disorder.
What sights, my lord?
I pray, speak not. He grows worse and worse. Question enrages him. A kind good night to all.
My former speeches have but hit your thoughts, which can interpret further. Things have been strangely born. The gracious Duncan was pitted of Macbeth, and the right valiant Banquo walked too late. This report hath so exasperate the king that he prepares for simulated war, and that well might advise him to a caution to hold what distance his wisdom can provide under a hand accursed. I'll send my prayers with him.
Double, double, toil and trouble. Fire burn and cauldron bubble. Fillet of finny snake, in the cauldron boil and bake. Eye of newt and toe of frog, wool of bat and tongue of dog, adder's fork and blindworm's sting, lizard's leg and owlet's wing. For a charm repel for trouble, like a hell broth boil and bubble. By the pricking of my thumb, something wicked this way comes. Open, lock, whoever knocks.
secret black and midnight hags, what is't you do?
A deed without a name.
Howe'er you come to know it, answer me to what I ask you.
Will answer.
Tell me, thou unknown power, what will happen of me? Then live, Macduff, what need I fear of thee?
Macbeth shall never vanquish thee until great Burnham Wood, to high Dunsinane Hill, shall come against him.
That will never be. I will be satisfied. Deny me this, and an eternal curse fall on you. Tell me, why sinks in that cauldron, and what noise is this?
Show his eyes and grieve his heart. Come like shadows, so depart. Aye, sir, all this is so. But why says Macbeth thus amazedly? Come, sisters, cheery up his sprites, and show the best of our delights. All charm the air to give a sound, while you perform your antic round, that this great king may kindly say, our duties did his welcome pay.
I have 2 nights' watch with you. I cannot perceive any truth in your report. When was it she last walked?
Since his majesty went into the field, I have seen her rise from her bed, throw her nightgown upon her, unlock her closet, take forth paper, fold it, write upon it, read it, afterward seal it, and again return to bed. Yet all this while I'm most fast asleep.
A great perturbation in nature and this slubbery agitation. Besides her walking in any other actual performances, what at any time have you heard her say?
That, sir, which I will not report after her. Lo, you, here she comes. This is her very guise, and upon my life, fast asleep. Observe her, stand close. Yet here's a spot, out curse spot, out I say. Yet who would have thought the old man to have so much blood in him? What will these hands never be clean? All the perfume of Arabia will not sweeten this little hand. Oh, wash your hands, put on your nightgown, look not so pale. I tell you yet again, Banquo was buried. You knock him out on his grave.
Foul whisperings all abroad. Unnatural deeds do breed unnatural troubles. So good night. My mind she has made it and has amazed my sight. I think, but dare not speak.
Good night, good doctor.
Troubled, Macbeth is slowly slipping into madness. He is distraught as he suspects the Scottish hordes massing against him.
What is that noise?
My lord, the queen is dead.
She should have died hereafter. Out, out, brief candle. Life's but a walking shadow. A poor player that struts and frets his hour upon the stage, and then is heard no more. It is a tale told by an idiot, full of sound and fury, signifying nothing.
Gracious, my lord. I shall report which I say I saw, but know not how to do it.
Then say, sir.
As I did stand my watch upon the hill, I looked toward Burnham, and Annam, methought, the wood began to move.
Liar and slave, if thou speakest false, upon the next tree thou shalt hang alive. Arm out, ring the bell. Blow, wind, come rack, at least we'll die with harness on our back.
Soon Macbeth saw what the attendant had said was true. The opposing army had cut branches from the trees of Burnham Wood and cut the branches before them, put the branches before them to hide their numbers. On the battlefield, Macbeth met an army that included Malcolm, that King Duncan's son Macduff, and the other Scottish lords. On the battlefield, Macbeth met Macduff, and they had a terrible sword fight.
The devil himself could not produce an image more hateful to mine eye.
No, nor more fearful.
With my sword I'll prove the lie thou speakest.
Thou wast born of a woman, but sword thy smile at.
Tyrant, show thy face.
Of all men else I have avoided thee.
I have no words. My voice is my sword.
Thou lostest labor. I bear a charmed life which must not yield to one of woman born.
Despair thy charm, and wed the angel whom thou still hast served, till thee, Macduff, from his mother's womb, untimely ripped.
Accursed be the tongue that tells me so, for it hath cowed my better part of man.
Then yield thee, coward, and live to be the gaze and show all the time. All hail, for thou I art! All hail, Malcolm, King of Scotland!
All hail Malcolm, King of Scotland!
Okay, you guys are the best. Thank you. All right, as you can see, We have worked really hard on our set. We've done everything on purpose. You guys could see that we had some evil going on in here. We had some witches, and those witches cast some spells and made Macbeth the main character. Miss Becca Cotton, come on out. Becca. She played our lead role of Macbeth. There she is. Good job. Good bow. Becca played our lead role of Macbeth. Macbeth started off as a fabulous soldier, very loyal to his king, and he was serving that king loyally. And then one day he ran into the witches, who gave him a prophecy, and he all of a sudden was thrust into this world of ambition. He had this internal conflict where he was having to decide, wait, do I listen to this prophecy, or do I go against who I really am? And he actually chose the ambitious part, and he actually slipped into madness, and in the lies and all of the madness, he ended up killing some of his best friends and losing everything in the end. Okay, good job, Becca. Thank you. Okay. Lady Macbeth was played by Cambria. Nicholas, come on out, Cambria. Lady Macbeth, a loyal wife. However, she was kind of greedy. And so what happened in the story was that she became ambitious as well. And the letter was given to her, and she said, oh my goodness, my husband can be king. That's amazing. And it was her idea to actually slaughter the king, King Duncan. Okay, and King Duncan, come and stay there, Cambria. King Duncan is played by Bo Simpson. Come on out, Bo. So Bo played the role of King Duncan. King Duncan was just great, and he had his loyal soldiers. And then Lady Macbeth had her evil plan and said, hey, I want you to be king. And so she convinced her husband to do that dirty deed. And then in the end of the story, as you could tell, she started slipping into madness, and it started to drive her crazy. And then the guilt overtook her, and it led to her death. So good job, guys. All right, next player, next actor. I'm going to call out my Scottish lords. Come on out, Scottish lords. And that is, Ross is played by Ross. Yeah. And Lennox is played by Keegan Smith. And Angus is played by Austin Reisinger. Our Scottish lords were loyal subjects to King Duncan. And then they started to realize, oh, something is amiss. Something is wrong. And they had a meeting right over here in front of the castle, and they discovered that I think that Macbeth has done something wrong. And so it was them that actually started with that suspicion. And ultimately Macbeth went down because of their conversations, and they were very suspicious of him. So nice job, lords. Thank you. Banquo. Banquo is played by Caden Favorite. Now, in the beginning, you notice that Banquo was actually really good friends with Macbeth. They were very, very close friends. And in the middle there, or actually, they both heard the witch's prophecy at the same time. The witches said, hey, you're going to be king someday, Macbeth. And Banquo heard it too. So then after that, that was whenever Macbeth decided, you know what, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take that lead, and I'm going to kill the king and become the king myself. Banquo immediately suspected his best friend. And so he started saying, yes, my lord, I will serve you, but I know what you did. Okay? Then in the end, what happened was Macbeth turned on his best friend Banquo, had him killed by two murderers, and then you could see that the ghost of Banquo actually came back and haunted Macbeth. That was when Caden went back there and came back, and he had the little gray robe over his costume, which is really hard to go back there and get it done really fast. So he did that. He did a great job at that, but it haunted Macbeth. So all these hauntings started happening. All this guilt started piling up. So great job, Macbeth. Thank you. Excuse me, Banquo. Okay, I'm going to call out our 3 witches. Our 3 witches are played by Kinley, Lauren, and Emerson. These ladies at the very beginning, as you can see, you knew that something wasn't right. These ladies were up to no good from the start. And they were very, very evil from the beginning. But they prophesied. And they told Macbeth, hey, you know what? One day you're going to be king. And he had never even thought about it. And so they had these prophecies, and they could foretell the future. And it was ultimately the meeting with these supernatural powers, basically, that started Macbeth's spiral out of control. So nice job, ladies. Thank you. Okay, I'm going to call out the doctor and the good lady that is the servant to Lady Macbeth. So the doctor is played by Jacob Fortenberry. And the gentlewoman is played by Chloe. As you can see, in the story, they started realizing that Lady Macbeth, something was wrong with her. She was going crazy, she was doing weird things, and was sleepwalking and talking about the horrible murder in her sleep. And the gentlewoman overheard those things, but she was afraid to report those things. She also was worried, so she consulted the doctor, but she didn't want to tell. She didn't want to betray her queen. So she tried to be very, very sweet about it, but also tried to take care of her queen. So ultimately, in the end, they were there whenever the queen actually perished, when she actually died. They did an excellent job, and we're very, very, very proud of you. Good job. Okay, I'm going to call out Abby. Abby is, she is one of our, she's a sergeant. She was at the very beginning. She was one of the ones that came out and said how wonderful Macbeth was and how brave he was in the battle. And that's what made the king from the get-go. From the beginning, the king said, oh, wow, King Duncan said, oh, Macbeth is great. I'm going to move him to a higher power. So, and then Abby also was one of our narrators. So she did an excellent job at both of those parts. Good job, Abby. Oscar, come on out. Oscar played the part of the messenger or the attendant. It was his job to go and let Macbeth know, hey, the witches said that Burnham Wood is, when you are going down, Burnham Wood is going to be moving towards you. At that point in the play, we moved the set forward because the soldiers, you had to understand, the soldiers in the play started moving forward, and they were disguising themselves by cutting down the branches of Burnham Wood. And so they were hiding, and they were dressed as the trees of Burnham Wood. And so he thought, oh my goodness, how am I going to tell my king that Burnham Wood is moving and Burnham Wood is coming towards us? And so it freaked Macbeth out at that point. And Macbeth said, oh, liar. And that's whenever he got really mad at the attendant. And he said, hey, if you're wrong about this, it's not going to be good for you. So excellent job, Oscar. Good job. I'm going to bring out the scary characters, my murderers. Come on out. Don't they look so scary? Michelle and Joven actually played the part of murderer number 1 and murderer number 2. And they were actually summoned by Macbeth to do the horrible deed of killing Banquo in the background. You could see that the scene went a little bit faster than we wanted it to, but they went back there whenever Macbeth was walking up here, let every man be a master of his time. And at that point, you could see the murder taking place in the very background. I want to add, Michelle played murderer number 2. She was murderer number 2. Our murderer number 1 was actually absent today. So we were really proud. Jobin got his lines today and started memorizing them today. And so we were really, really thankful and really, really proud of these 2. They did an excellent job. Great job, guys. Okay, we have Macduff. Come on out, Macduff. Gracie plays the part of Macduff. Now, in Shakespeare, a lot of times there are not lady actresses, okay? There are actors who play the part of male and females, okay? So Gracie is actually playing the part of a male, and it is Macduff who actually kills Macbeth in the end. So in the end, Macduff actually is the savior of the land of Scotland. And so we were really proud of how hard Becca and Gracie worked on that sword fighting scene, because it's hard to sword fight and talk and remember your lines all at the same time. So very, very nice job, Gracie. Excellent. Okay, we also have Mason Middlecamp. Come on out, Mason. Okay, Malcolm was played by Mason Middlecamp. Malcolm is King Duncan's son. So in the middle of that play, you saw him fall to his knees. They said, "Oh, your royal father is murdered," and he's like, "Oh, by whom?" So he falls to his knees. So he is stricken in grief. He's very sad. Obviously, his father was killed right there under their noses, basically. So he played. In the end, obviously, he was crowned king. And so he was crowned king because Macbeth was killed in the end. So very nice job, Mason. Great. We also have the young Cyward, played by Sarah. Come on out, Sarah. Sarah played the young Cyward, a young soldier who was brave enough to face the mighty warrior Macbeth. Unfortunately, the young Cyward did not last long, and she lost the battle to Macbeth. But right after she lost the battle to Macbeth, what happened? Macduff came over and avenged her death and all the other deaths. So nice job, Sarah. Good job with that sword fight. We also have some narrators, and I think I already called some of my narrators, but if you also narrated, come on out with Lucas too. Lucas was one of our main narrators. The narrator serves a very important role in the play. Shakespeare is really hard to understand. You guys can see that. The language is very difficult, and so we wrote parts in there. We tried to keep Shakespeare's parts, but we wrote some parts in there so that you guys could maybe understand the scene switches and the changes and maybe a little bit more about what was happening. So the narrator is a very important part. They're also a storyteller. Their job is to rope you in and keep you interested while things are going on in the background. Maybe set changes or different things are going on. So Lucas served as one of our narrators. Nice job, Lucas. Emerson, Jacob, and Abby also memorized narrator lines, so excellent job there. All right, and you guys can all come out. We are good. Thank you guys so much for being a great audience.